the green roof. It's got rainwater harvesting technology and native plants. We've got energy conservation technology incorporated in it through photovoltaic solar collection and very energy efficient equipment. Recycled materials have been used throughout the facility, and of course we have a climate sensitive paving here that will make sure that we have a cooler facility. That's the kind of thing we're working on in Tempe, trying to reduce the heat island effect that we're feeling throughout this valley, and this is the kind of leadership that Tempe is showing. So congratulations not only on the opening of this light rail, but also this facility, both of which are intended to help us become an environmentally sustainable community. We're doing increasing amounts of that. But in addition, as the Congressman mentioned, this light rail facility is helping us become more economically sustainable. It is our ability to bring development back into our community, the first landlocked city in the state. If you follow trends over the last 100 years, this city is supposed to be dying now. It's supposed to be collapsing as an inner city, and it's not. Instead, we have taken hold of our opportunity to be at the center of it all and create a new economic dynamo that is leading the way on how the private sector and government can work together. Because yes, this is a $1.4 billion public sector investment. But it is that investment by this government, the federal government, the state government, the county, and the city, that has resulted in something very important. And it touches also on our cultural sustainability. The over-under, our staff is already betting on how many times I'll use the word ho-com, for those of you who have suffered through many of my speeches. Jeff, what's the final number? 4, okay. I have to use it. Who gets the pool if I use it 5 times? You lose if I use it 5 times? Ho-com, 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 ho-com. There you go. But here we are on this light rail line, and Tempe has done something really right. Because 138 years ago, through an organic process, we created public investment in a transportation corridor with the private sector help. Charles Trumbull Hayden founded Hayden's Ferry by creating a little ferry right across the river at Mill Avenue, what became Mill Avenue. Of course, it wasn't Mill Avenue at the time because he hadn't built the mill yet. So in 1871, we put a little ferry here. The private sector did that. And the public sector responded with roads that connected the city of Phoenix, 6 months older than the city of Tempe, the west to the east to Mesa. And that connection allowed people to travel from the west to the east and vice versa, and opened a rail or a corridor for wagons that ultimately turned into automobiles. And it was that transportation corridor, that public investment, that allowed Tempe and Phoenix and Mesa to prosper and sprout. That's why it became US 60, that public investment in that transportation route. And then about 50 years ago, we probably made a mistake. We moved US 60. And those areas of our community collapsed and died and decayed. Now here we are 138 years later, rededicating a new technology right back in that original organic transportation corridor. And the private sector has responded. We have $4 billion worth of private sector investment just in the construction coming along this light rail corridor. That's just the construction. That doesn't include the businesses that will be locating in the buildings that are being built. It doesn't include the residents and their economic impact on our community. And that sustainability of our culture is helping this entire region, because now fewer people have to see more cactus and more raw desert destroyed to build homes. We're creating a unique urban environment, the first in the state, that supports residents and businesses and the beautiful recreation amenities that surround us. And it starts back with that original transportation corridor. Although I was reminded this morning by our city manager that it really started in 400 AD when the Hohokam created a trail that went to the west. But I digress. Some of the things you'll get to see today include that ancient history, because along this portion of the light rail corridor, we had to do extensive archaeological remediation. And it was because of the cooperation we had with the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community that this light rail line got built, and that much of that archaeological remediation got done. They granted us funds, for example, for the Hayden Flour Mill site remediation. $1.5 million from our partners at the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community to find out what our history was all about and remind us that this community was built not just in 1871, but almost 1,500 years before that. And it's all connected together, as we are all connected together today. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic day. It dates back to 1871 and far before that. We're here to celebrate this great opening, and frankly, you all, this community, you're the folks that made this happen. It is the residents of Tempe that first supported this concept. It is the taxpayers who helped fund it, and it is you who carried it to its final successful conclusion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite every one of you to join us for this ribbon cutting. You all need to be in the picture. So I'd like to invite first the council and the former council members, as well as our Transportation Commission members, former and current, to please come back behind the stage in front of that little, or behind that little green ribbon. Come on, folks, don't be shy.